In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country can change it. So today we're just going to kind of brainstorm fundraising stuff. Just a few announcements beforehand. I just had my bar chief president's meeting Tuesday, and they wanted to remind us the district governor's coming on December 8th. Ideally, the board would meet ahead of time with her. She's going to come, and I think the assistant governor, they like to meet around 11 or 11:30. So if possible, or anyone is welcome to join too.
9.
Oh, sorry, 9.
But we need to talk about that because I just had an ending moment this morning. Francisco has asked that we not meet here in the month of December because he uses this room for holiday parties. So I'm meeting with him after this meeting, and I will see if they can make an exception for the 9.
Perfect.
So we may have to
strategize. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it will be fine, but yeah, let's let it as soon as possible. Yeah, because we would need it from like 11 to 1:30.
If that doesn't work, we can always vote for Amelia, I imagine, and I can talk to them and Miguel if you want me to, or depending on how this week goes. Do you know Miguel?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a good thing. Is that cool? Yeah. Thank you. And I think.
Thank you for that.
And
Thank you so much.
I need to write back. Okay, so and as we get closer, I'll remind it, but ideally if board or whoever would like to join us a little bit earlier, I don't know, I guess she just kind of goes over stuff. I've never done that before. So.
Yeah, that sounds good. What time do you, so 11:30 you said?
She's gonna get back to me exactly, either 11 or 11:30. She said either an hour and a half before the general meeting.
And then you want us before that half hour.
Yeah, so it'd be like 11.
So 10:30 or 11.
Yeah, I would say 11:30.
Oh, so you want to have a meeting us privately before that meeting?
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I understood. You were saying that.
No, we would just.
Oh,
meet
then
with
11.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just meet with her.
Cool.
Unless we need to. I also learned, this is for Richie, that they're gonna organize a little president-elect social for you. So be on the lookout for an email.
Do they have my information?
Yes.
Okay.
I entered it into the Rotary database, so.
Cool.
Let me know.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Thank you.
We talked about the Roticare bowling fundraiser. I have had the chance to meet with Ray and Aaron, and I think it's gonna go. So probably June is when they're thinking. So not too close, but.
So you did meet with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron's very excited. He's got everything. He said he started planning 3 months ahead of time, and that was way too quick. So we have a little bit of time. So maybe after the holidays, we'll start really going there.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the Pinole Bowl?
Yeah, that's the only, I don't know if anyone's gone to the bowling alley to ask, but that would be the last step. And he was kind of going over how he would do it. They would rent it out like a birthday party. Maybe Pinole will be a little bit more generous and give them Albany was not generous and they have to pay for like pizza, pay for everything, so. Last thing, our holiday party is gonna be December 16th at QSP. Where?
At my
Quinnan Street.
at my studio.
At Quinn Street?
Yeah.
Quinnan Street, 5:30. I don't know if we've confirmed catering instead, but Fred, it's a Thursday. Tom, don't say no. Is that gonna be tough?
Where are you gonna be?
No, that's my birthday.
That's
And I was, never mind, go ahead.
You can have a party?
We can't.
Why don't we just turn it
I'll
into
just have everyone come over
Christmas-
there.
Christmas
Call my
party?
sister up and my brother-in-law and Nancy and go, no, we're not going to that restaurant. We're going over here. We're
Well,
going
they're
to.
definitely invited if they would like to come.
Yeah, you could
Friends,
pregame
spouses.
it for Rotary and then do like an Italian like 7 or 8 p.m. dinner for your birthday.
That's true.
Could do that.
True.
So that's December 16th, and we'll talk more about it as we get closer.
Pear has not responded to 2 emails or a phone message.
Oh,
Has anybody ever crossed paths with Craig? Anna, have you?
Who?
Craig from 96H Grand Catering?
Have I crossed paths with him?
Did you ever see him?
No.
Okay, he's a non-responder.
Well, that's not good.
He wasn't when we were,
He was super responsive.
yeah.
Check his name off.
Well,
Oh, was that a nice man?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why we're confused.
maybe he's on vacation?
okay.
Oh, maybe.
I just want to make sure, well, this has been like 3 weeks now.
Oh.
Is he close to COVID or?
No.
Okay, I'll try and-
Well, if he didn't close for COVID by now, like if he was open in July, why would he be closed now?
A little late.
I know.
So do you have a backup?
I'm gonna go to Plan B, but I don't want to give up on him yet, so.
We had also talked in that board meeting about not necessarily catering that holiday party too, of just getting like some bites and drinks too. So I don't know if that's still on the table also.
You guys ever do public style or
Ooh.
not so much?
Not on a Thursday after work, I don't think. I wouldn't have time to cook.
Okay.
On a Sunday maybe, but maybe not on a Thursday.
The plan for, maybe you can stand.
Yeah, can you guys not hear me?
Yeah.
So the holiday party is gonna be December 16th, it's a Thursday, at Quinnen Street. So ideally, we were gonna do what we did for the motion dinner and have it here. So we'll see. It's gonna be the white elephant. All right, I don't know, Jamie, is this a good time to talk about La Familia?
I actually have 2 announcements
Okay.
before we move into that. Jerry Kirkland, who was a past president of this club, the baby Tom, remember Jerry Kirkland? Dr. Bill reminded. Anyway, he reached out through our Facebook page, and they had moved to Vacaville from Yuba City, and he came across these photo albums. So I drove up and met him yesterday and picked him up. And most of you probably won't recognize most of these people, but it does have some very fun photos of club projects. And then I'll get these, and the motion dinner, so I'll get these to Judy to put the rest of our albums. And then on the subject of our plan for the tree lighting ceremony,
Yes.
so I spoke with Francisco before our meeting started, and the tree lighting is on Saturday, December the 4th. Francisco is in the process of opening up an old bank building next door for kind of a coffee shop and banquet halls. And they're in the process of getting everything set up. But he wanted to make sure everybody knew and was invited that once the tree lighting takes place, they're opening up the old bank building and serving free hot chocolate, taking Santa pictures, they'll have a face painter. So they're hoping for people to kind of migrate from the tree lighting ceremony to the bank building next door. So that takes our involvement off the slate of things to do. I offered up our services because the whole thing is free to the community. So I said, ask if you needed volunteers, that I'm sure that you might be able to help them out.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm willing that night to just wear my Rotary shirt and volunteer.
Yeah, so because it's a little bit later, I might be able to pop in too, so let's just keep communicating.
Yeah.
And then, that's a good way to segue to, when we finished our dinner meeting last weekend, Miguel came up to a few of us that were still there, and due to their increase in food prices, they need to increase the price of dinner $5. So we need to get so that's under this umbrella. Next umbrella, I met with Francisco, and he needs us to help them have their kitchen work a little bit smoother. And what's happening when they offer a main thing, which today is chicken, a salad, they end up with waste in the kitchen. They do not need to increase our price through the end of the year, but they probably will in January, but probably just in $1. But he wants to offer us a new option in January to do what we're doing now, which is everybody order the same meal, like today is chicken. Or he's giving us the option to let people order off the menu, off their lunch menu. So, when we do the same meal, for the $20, we pay $17 to the restaurant. That $17 includes the meal, dessert, a beverage, tax, and he tips his servers out of that. That's all included in the $17. The reason members pay $20 is that $3 is what typically works to offset the speaker's meal, So that's how we keep our lunch budget in balance. If we transition to everybody ordering off the menu, and I have the lunch menu here, it would be the menu price plus tax, but he would continue to include dessert and he would include tip. But members would need to come knowing what they want, because they're not gonna come in and give everybody a menu and people mull over it and then they wait. People need to know that, and I'm gonna pass this around, because come January, we need to be able to tell him what direction, and we don't get to do both. It's gonna be all one, which is the same meal, which they really would rather not do salads, which I don't think that's realistic. Or two, do the lunch menu. So, thoughts, everybody? So the lunch menu is on the right.
Is there a
I'm sorry,
weekend
what was
one?
the deal with ordering off the menu, then it would be the menu price?
The deal is that, it's gonna make it a little bit more complicated in that all the lunch menus are not the same price. So based on what people order, the $20 that we pay, which in January will become $21, might not cover everybody. So we're gonna have to come up with an average price so that it covers the cost. Because we can't have you coming in and saying, okay, you're gonna have this, okay, yours is, $20, you're gonna have this, yours is $23. It makes this part way too complicated. But if we can come up with an average price, it might make people happier to be able to order whatever they would want off of the lunch menu.
What about it, all the ones that are within the $20 and make a separate menu just with all the ones that are $20 or
We
less?
have to keep it simple, and we have to not,
All right, so, well, going over 20 is not simple, but,
it's,
all right.
or we could just roll with it for a month or two and see how close we get, which is probably, in my simpleton mind, the easier way to go. Was this gonna work? It's not working, okay, then we need to.
It would just be that everyone.
Just a thought, I think there's a lot to ask people that perhaps don't always show up, that they would know what's on the menu in advance.
So he gave us, the menu doesn't change, and we can lift the PDF from their website, and when we send the notary, we can attach the lunch menu and ask people to come prepared with what they want to order. And she's still gonna walk around and say, what would you want? And then you say you want hamburger, and you want a cheese, or whatever the menu items are. So she's still gonna come ask people, but she just wants, she just wants people to know, and not go, can you get me a menu? Timing doesn't work. And he wants us here, and he wants to make it work so that it works for us and it works for them. So with that being said, do we want to go back to having 2 lunch meetings a month and step away from dinner meetings, which is how we did it for many, many years? So we just need to know what everybody's thinking. Who likes dinner meetings? Who likes meeting in the evening for dinner?
Yeah, I like dinner,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily.
We're not
need to go to
everyone.
dinner.
So that's two things.
I like coming
Deciding
here.
how we're gonna order
I
it.
prefer lunch meetings also.
Me too.
Now, for the sake of, those that can't come here at lunchtime, if we did the fourth Thursday dinner meeting, so at least they can come to one meeting in person?
Well, then
or is
that goes back to what we're doing right now, which is the first Thursday of the month is dinner. The second Thursday of the
No,
month is
it'd be
lunch.
first, second, third here, and only the fourth one, dinner.
Well, the third is a board meeting, and the fourth is a Zoom meeting.
But are we gonna stick with Zoom meetings even after the whole thing is over?
That's for us as a club to decide.
So I think that
Richie, when you're speaking to speakers, some speakers,
Defer. Yeah, in fact, we just booked our January speaker, who she's in Texas. So, and she has an incredible presentation, so she obviously can't be here. So it's been kind of a blessing in
Yes.
terms of doing that, and I know that some have actually said, yes, I would feel more comfortable doing Zoom.
and I found that too when I
Yeah.
was looking.
And so it's nice that we do have this kind of, this potpourri of ways for them to speak. And some have said, I can't make a lunch, my work obligations, I can do dinner, oh, great, I'll come to your dinner. So it's been nice to be able to kind of put people in spots like that. But again, you're right, this is a decision that the club will make eventually, on how we're comfortable, what we want to do, so.
We don't have to make any changes, we can stay with our,
Oh, well, I'm just gonna assume that the board decided that one meeting a month is gonna be a board meeting, since it wasn't that way before. So is that correct?
that is a change that Maya made in her 2 years as president. And do you like it or do you not like it?
Well, it's just not how we always did it,
Correct.
and now we're doing that, and I didn't know that the decision had been ultimately made as a pre.
Oh, I did one.
Anyway,
With Maya's 2 years of presidency, that's how we did it, and it was working for everybody, so we stayed with the schedule.
it's fine, I just want to clarify that. And then,
We don't have to make any
again, the
changes.
Zoom meeting, I mean, if a speaker has to appear by Zoom, that's one thing. I'm just saying, does the club want to continue having one meeting a month as a Zoom meeting, or however, past the, end of the sheltering in place or whatever.
There was some conversation that there was a couple of people that were only able to participate if we met by Zoom. And that's why we kept that option.
Maybe because of unavailability or hesitancy to meet people in person.
Maybe a little bit of both, we don't really know.
So because of meet people in person, and it's kind of a thing that Rotary does.
Well, we don't know, we don't know the reason. Do we know the reason, anyone?
Devin's on Zoom, maybe Devin wants to. Hi, Devin.
Is he in Scotland?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yay.
Are you in Scotland right now, my love?
No, I just got back. I'm actually in Pinole, but I'm not able to make it. So I just saw the link and I was like, this is so cool.
I sent an email to everyone saying that we were doing this meeting hybrid, so I figured someone would pop in if they wanted to. But
Hello,
Devin, actually,
Devin.
your timing is great because we were just talking about hybrid meetings, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings. So, yeah, it's just a timely example that the Zoom room is always open.
That's
I
wonderful.
see-
Well, you all.
Maya's here. Hi,
Hey.
There you go.
Look at, everybody told me that I was nuts for wanting to do a hybrid meeting, and look who's here.
That's perfect.
And can I say something? Can I chime in?
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about doing these Zoom things, as we get back in person, we can always have a live meeting here, and then of course have a speaker Zoom into us. So we could meet up here, have someone from Texas or Nashville or Scotland, and come and tell us, do the program.
It could be a-
But it
I
could be
wasn't talking
exactly.
about hybrid meetings, I was talking about the script.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I know, but I was saying for the Zoom, yeah, we could, again, there's a lot of things we can do, a lot of options available to us. And again, it's up to the board to decide, and the club to decide. That's why I think it's good to have these club assemblies,
Yes.
at least quarterly. And again, I don't know if we did that before in years past, but it's good because again, there's non-board members here who have input, who want to give input to the club. And I think it's very important to do these things, so.
So as of right now, the only thing that's changing is the price of dinner is gonna go up $5. We don't have to change anything in the schedule. The price of dinner in whatever our next meeting is, the first weekend in December, or the first Thursday in December is
No,
gonna
it's
be.
not over here.
I mean, that's $12 million. It's only $35. And that's for the fixed menu.
And we did ask if there's any way that maybe the menu can be mixed up a little bit. And I don't think he said yes, no, he just kind of shrugged that one off for
He
them.
said he'd get back to us.
Well, is the eggplant parmesan $35 on that menu?
We were there to, yes, I don't know.
I mean, it's a salad
It seems
too.
excessive.
I don't know.
Yes, the salad.
I mean, I'm.
No, I think it's
am I
It's a lot of
excessive.
money. No, it's a lot of
It
money.
sounds
It's a
expensive
lot.
Yeah.
for their price, for their limited menu items.
I mean, if there's some
I'm just saying.
scallopini or ossobuco and we're paying 35, I'm like, hey, okay. But, pasta,
No, it seems like a $15 item.
hello.
These are things to consider.
So, are we,
Getting back to having lunches exclusive.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like we're talking about pasta and dinner.
Yeah, we
Instead
are.
of ordering off the menu here, we'll go ahead and just say, let's make it simple and keep the way it was and just get it fixed, whatever they say. Here's what you're eating for $20. $17.
Any other feelings on that?
I mean, it is what it is. We're kind of gonna have to figure out a way to go with what the bistro wants.
I have I guess, again, I'll chime in just as a new member. I don't think it is what it is. I think, again, businesses can, evaluate on an annual basis, these costs and what it's costing them and then negotiate with us. But we also can do the same thing, right? We can also look at our club and what our members can afford and what's good quality food and say, you know what? There's other options. That's the beautiful thing about, a capitalist
Get it.
society is that we can go anywhere and spend our good money anywhere. So we can do the same thing, guys. We can evaluate and say, hey, well, where do we want to go for lunch or for dinner? And is it a good price point? And do they have the space and capacity to hold us? And can we have something on a consistent basis? I mean, we can do that too, right?
Yes, and you make it sound like it's easy, it's not, we tried that, but we would love somebody that would wanna delve into, I don't know if Maya can hear, but even when we were trying to find a location to meet for dinner, even Pear Street was not an option to us. The local restaurants offer a room that is set aside for you and the willingness to accommodate a flex number of people. They don't know when we walk in the door if it's gonna be, the handful of people that are here today, or if it's gonna be 18. They have to be ready to accommodate them. And years ago, we met across the street at Middle Creek, and they don't serve lunch anymore. But that's not to say that you couldn't approach them about dinner. Maya, did you talk to them at Middle Creek about dinner back a year ago?
Well, it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but no, I don't think I talked to Pinole Creek. Debbie may have.
I feel like I did.
Yeah.
And, the other place we used to end up,
Silverware.
the other place we used to go, which was, not the place we wanted to go, but we had to find somewhere, and we would go to Round Table Pizza and meet upstairs if we could get up there.
Right, that was when this place was closed.
Can I suggest one place too? Do y'all know about the Pho Craze place next to the Lucky supermarket. It's in
No.
Fitzgerald area. So she started like right before, her name is Lynn. She started like a pho, it's like soup, Vietnamese soup place. She started it right before the pandemic started.
What is it?
So it's a food place. It's
I've,
like
I've
Vietnamese.
eaten there. Do they have a room, Devin?
They have they usually have a open area during afternoons. Diane Springer hosts like a monthly lunch there, and they usually don't have many people in the afternoon time. I'm not too sure about the evenings, but I think the afternoons will be pretty open. Just a thought process.
Sounds delicious.
That would be cheaper. I mean, it is delicious. But it's not gonna be a private room though.
Block Richie a while back.
Okay.
It just wasn't.
I think it would be hard if it's not a private room to have a speaker.
Because Devin and Maya, one of the other things that happened in the room before you got here is
Mhm.
that Pear Street was
Thank you.
Pear Street is asking us not to book any meetings here during the month of December because we can't have this room because of holiday parties. So we're also thinking, we're not just thinking in terms of like 2022, we're also thinking in terms of like imminent food meetings. Yeah, just wanted to add that to your brains as we're mulling things over.
You know,
Wasn't-
I don't
was,
know if you would be interested in this, but I think, I feel pretty confident that Joe and I could host one of them during December. We'd have to pick which one at our house, and we'd just provide lunch, and no, Nikki has to pay for it.
That's the district governor.
Oh, yeah, she would wanna be.
Well, it would just, maybe be a little more professional or.
Yeah.
like to be.
Yeah, I think she'd probably rather be at a restaurant. But is there another one that we could do there at our house?
It's, the first one is at Familia. And we have a speaker. J-Bar, or however you say his name. Chairman of the.
Oh, that's the Rotary District Eagles, yeah.
Good for you.
Maya was trying to add something about that too.
Well, if it worked out, it's just awkward.
That's very, very, you hosted us before, in fact, I think that's where Maya was inducted as a new member, was it?
When we did that one time at Do Rose, did we have to pay a set fee or did we just order from the menu?
We ordered from the menu. When we were at Do a Rose, did we pay a set fee or did we order from the menu? I remember ordering from the menu. When we were at Do a Rose,
Oh, a set menu, and they didn't give you any options of, it was what it was.
I ordered off the
Really?
menu when we were there.
Yeah, I remember ordering off the menu, I thought.
And I remember Chief Winecoop was there and he ordered ossobuco and I was very impressed. Yes, Jamie, it's,
Yeah.
there
Because I
was.
ordered like a chicken or something
Yeah.
that I always get.
Are you
But it was a
getting-
one-time thing. Jamie, we're talking about like a one-time thing, not, I think back in the day, you guys went there more often.
the last, like Christmas 2019, we were there. And I remember it was the meeting with Chief Winecoop and the outgoing fire chief. And that blonde woman was there. That blonde woman who was gonna join the club and then I guess didn't because she's not here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember maybe we can go like once or twice there in December. If we can order off the menu, then you know, we pay for what we want.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have holiday parties?
I mean, they will. We were there for a lunchtime. I remember that was a lunchtime meeting. I don't know if that's different or better or worse for them.
I can reach out to them. Do you know
Yeah, Jamie did not have good experiences with whoever it is. You've always been like, they were not nice to us.
Turn my back on
Oh, no, go for
They
it.
were borderline rude to me one time when I came in
kind of a
Well, that's
establishment
not
was
cool.
this?
I know. Well, it's delicious food.
It's in Pinole?
Yeah, it's up in Fitzgerald by, same place that well, Devon's off now, but same place he was kind of describing up at the Lucky's in Fitzgerald. It's like
Italian
around,
Italian?
mhm,
Oh, okay. By the Mexican restaurant, over by the cigarettes and over the.
mhm,
that
by Big
99
Five.
cent stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll get back to us about this place for December 9th,
I will talk to him after the meeting.
and then
And I think just to chime in about our other just constant question about like the regular schedule and all of that, I don't know as much about Rotary as other people, so I don't know who makes, like, I didn't know Maya was why we met at a board meeting every month. I thought that was a Rotary thing. I didn't know, like, I don't know I don't know who gets to make these like decisions. So I'm suggesting that Jill, as our president, gets to have some say in what works for her in her year as president. And when Richie's president, he gets to have some say. Like, I think we just need to make this more democratic as to who is technically our leader at the time of like what works best for that club for that moment. And if we're hearing, I don't think any of us want to pay $35 for La Familia for something that we don't necessarily want off the menu. And I think that I don't also, my individual space also makes it so that I don't love the only vegan option on this menu. And it doesn't sound like they're gonna have a whole lot of flexibility to be like, well, can I have this without that? Or can I have that with this? Or can I add this or stuff like that? So that's not super flexible for me. But my inclination is to say that we often in these meetings try to make decisions for the majority of the club, but we hardly ever have a full quorum of who is affected by these decisions. So for example, we're here at lunch and it's, we got Dr. Bill and Debbie and that's one of the best treats ever. And so by like having them here, they're showing us that this works for them. And we hardly ever see Pat Rawson or Lou Clayman except at dinner meetings. So I think that whatever we're deciding, we have to just acknowledge that it's not gonna be the best thing for everybody. So we have to do what's best for the club and we have to do what's best for our leadership. And so I yield to Jill on which call to make, but I will also say that it's sounding to me like if hybrid, like we got Maya in the room, like if hybrid meetings are an option for people who can't always make it to either, if we commit to the rest of the Rotary year, which is only 6 months at this point in time, maybe lunch here off the menu for the remainder of the 6 months, all of them hybrid, and instead of a board meeting, it's an assembly like this, where everyone is welcome to include, like, board is more strongly encouraged, but because it is a board convergence or something, but making it so that we, like Richie has been encouraging us to have more like full club assemblies where everyone gets to have as much say as possible so that it is more democratic. Because I know that everyone wants to, like, that's the biggest wall that we hit in every meeting that we have where we're trying to make decisions is how kind we all are and how everyone wants to make everyone else happy. And we're all business owners. We know that that doesn't really exist. So as a club, I think we just have to, we do have some leadership and our leadership is ever changing and it's impermanent. So while some people may not be happy for 6 months, come July, maybe Richie's reign, works better for the next 12 months. And then maybe whoever is after Richie, it works better for someone else for the next 12 months or something like that. So that's my 10 cents on that.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's hard in all these meetings because I think we always leave everything up in the air. Because we're always like, we'll check with,
Yeah, we want to be nice. And I love that. That's why I love this club so much. Like, it's every single person in this room is like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. So, and I love that. That's what I love about this club. And it can be a roadblock.
No.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna piggyback on that if you guys don't mind too. And so you're absolutely right about the board and about meetings, and that's how it should be. So, I'm sure as Maya, when she was president, she had to make some decisions about her work, right? And then, she chooses the board and the board goes on, they tag along and they join it. And Jill, same thing. She's a dentist and she has certain hours that she's available and certain that she's not. So she picks her board and she tells the board, hey guys, this is when I'm free and this is the attendance schedule. If you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. If I'm on vacation on the East Coast, that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And again, as a club, we help out. And when I'm president, same thing, And as we wrap up our year, we'll have a board meeting where we'll have both boards, together, which I imagine you guys might have done that too in years past, right? You get the old board, the new board, so that we can transition things that have been important to the club that, we also want to take over. And decisions have to be made, you're right, and decisions have to be made. And it's going to be, with my year, and a lot of you I'm going to pick to be on my board, thank you guys in advance. And same thing, we're going to do our best to have a great year, and then for the next year, continue it. But, a lot of these things, have to be made by the board. These decisions have to be made by the board. And that's why these club assemblies are very important, because a lot of people can't make those board meetings. I know at my old club, we'd have Rotary meetings every week, and then the board would, have a meet separately. And it's a lot. It's a lot for volunteers to be at every single meeting and then have a board meeting on top of that. And then when you have separate committees to be on top of, it's a lot. It's a huge commitment. And a lot of us are business owners, and it takes a lot of time away from your business and your family. So, I kind of like Maya's thing where, that was, if you started, I like that, where you have, the 3 meetings and then a board meeting. I think that's cool. It saves, us from just, burning our wits at both ends.
Yeah.
So again, that's something that, Jill's doing, and I might do the same thing. But again, I'll consult with the board, we'll talk about it, I like a lot of these things that we do here. It's cool, it's refreshing.
I remember, sorry, while y'all are eating, I'll just keep talking. I also remember the reason, because remember I came and spoke to this club in this room before anything. And Maya and Jamie tried to, or I'll let you see me, Maya. Hi, Maya. I miss you. But I've talked about my history with Rotary and, my dad's club and everything, but so I was hesitant to join. And I think the moment that I don't know that I've ever shared this, but the moment that I decided that I wanted to join this club was when the district governor came in 2019, and she sat next to me because I think Jamie was like, you have to take pictures because I'm gonna be busy and you know how a phone works and you know how to take pictures. Can you do that? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. And so I was sitting next to her and she was kind of chatting me up and she was talking to me and she was like, I go to every club in the district and this club is one of my favorites to visit because it's very small, but it gets everything done and they have a lot of fun. She was like, this is one of my favorite clubs because the vibe and the community is so strong. She goes, I go to other clubs, with hundreds of members or, all this, these massive clubs. She's like, and I never have as much fun as when I come visit the Knoll Club. And I was like, I like these weirdos.
You paid her to say all that.
It's true, but yeah, I think, I don't know, embrace it. Embrace that we're scrappy and cool and nice and smart. Maya, anything
Word.
wrong?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Anna. This is a tiny but a mighty club, and there's clubs out there that are hundreds of members, clubs that are, 50 clubs that are smaller than ours.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of dedicated people who, love their community, love where they live, and they love the club and the people, and they want to help out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's rad.
It is.
All right, El Presidente, did you eat enough to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this a good time to transition to talking about fundraisers, or should we?
Well, let's just make sure that we can we stay with our regular rotation. We already have a speaker for the first meeting of December, It's an evening meeting at La Familia, and we are committed to that.
Great.
So, did you get the impression our additional $5 will start at our next meeting?
Yes.
So, in December,
I got that as
so
well.
December the 2nd, no plans, no change of plans. The next week is the district governor visit. I will check with Francisco. If that is not available to us, we will work together to find another location. It is not all I need, but we'll work together on that. The week after that is the gift exchange, so that's not gonna change. And then we're in our little holiday swing, so nothing really has to be decided about the evening. Oh, and then we have Dr. Van Dyke speaking the first week in January, and he probably, does he have to do evenings also?
No.
Okay, so that's where the line in the sand is. We need to decide what we wanna do starting in January.
Okay. That's reasonable, month and a half.
That's perfect, yeah.
I think that gives us a little time, and then I'll
easier
just
for
make
you too,
sure the
because
members
then
who aren't
anyone
here
can be
are
on this.
aware
Yeah.
Exactly.
at our next night meeting, it's gonna be $5.
But only once. Possibly.
Decide on, how many members do we have in our club? 20?
31 or 32?
Okay. So it'd be nice if we had a minimum of 15 showing up at our meetings. So whatever we decide, whether it's the same now or it's 2 and 2, or 3 times here and once over there, or it's a matter of price, whatever it is, I'd like to see where on a constant basis, we're seeing at least 15. There are gonna be, for all of us, reasons why we can't, I'm not gonna be here the next 2 weeks because I'm on vacation. But for the most part, out of 31 members, really would like to see, and if it's a matter of some of them being confused of, what Thursday is this, then I'd like to see that somehow resolved.
Yeah.
Where they can be here and show up and participate. Now, this was very cool, that we have 2 or 3 online. That's
Yeah.
starting to work. I like that. And that counts. That's not just 8 of us, that's
9 of us.
whatever the number is.
Yeah.
But that's what I'd like to see the end goal as.
And if we
If
posted a
it's-
Zoom
If it's the
link,
money, then we'll find another place or tell them, add Scalapini and we will consider it. I'm kidding.
King.
I know you're not excited about Scalapini.
I would have been 2 years ago. I would have been.
But anyway,
So Tom,
I want to see more of us here,
That's
what I mean.
his.
So Tom, what you're saying there is something that I think we brought up in our first 2 board meetings of the year. So you're speaking about, making it easy, right? Ease of use for members, knowing we meet here. And I remember when I'm like, this is complex. We got an evening meeting, we got a lunch meeting, we got a board, it is complex. And if it's complex for members, imagine how it is for someone who wants to join the club. Imagine someone who goes online and says, oh, cool, let me go to the Rotary International website right now. Oh, they meet every Thursday at 12:30 at Pear Street. Sweet, it's the first Thursday, I'm gonna go meet them there. What do you mean you're not, the web, it says so. So, and that's what our job is, to get new members to grow, but if it's hard for existing members, it's really hard for new members. So you're right, I think that's a priority, to make it easy for everybody.
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency, exactly.
I would love to hear about the
Fundraiser tab?
to that.
We will.
So the decision is status quo, and we'll figure out January. Perfect.
President.
Fundraising.
Yep.
So I'm thinking,
Cool.
nothing yet back about the crab feed. Are we officially?
2 calls and a visit, Libby, and I did not hear back. And from the short conversation we had, was even if he says, yeah, you can have liquor here, I think there's still too many what if or doubts of where we are with this pandemic, if we want to take on a venture like that. Doing little pods at a craft feed, I don't see that happening. And besides, it's always been an opportunity for Interact. I don't want the Interact kids being subjected to that. So even if they're wearing a mask.
The
Yeah.
senior center is doing a drive-by crowd. Just, I don't know if you guys knew that.
And we were
Pick it
thinking,
up, go.
so I'm thinking let's put all of our efforts then towards backup plan for pools with the date option. I love that idea.
So there's another angle
Oh,
that came out of my conversation with Fernando, is that the bank building next door in January is going to be a banquet hall with an overflow patio. And so after this meeting, I'm going to meet and go in there, and if you have time to join me.
I do.
If you have time to join me. That could be the location. They do not have a kitchen there. The kitchen and it's a banquet, so everything comes from here. So we would, for a fixed price, which has not been disclosed yet, we would pay him for the beer, wine, and maybe one mixed cocktail, and say we do past appetizers. Then over there, if we choose to sell that beer for a raffle ticket like we do, but the location of the event that maybe Anna can share the details, we may have the option to do next door, which I feel is more conducive to your concept.
Yeah.
But you could join me after.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
So is the St. Joseph's School out?
Yes.
So when we would think about raising money, it would then be from the date auction themselves, silent auction, and then beer, wine sales. Would we get?
I believe we would need to sell a ticket, and based on, we don't know the cost yet, maybe the cost is not going to work, but they want to have exposure next door. He wants community people to come in and see the beauty of this building next door. So we would need to sell a ticket, and that ticket would include, say, drink ticket and appetizers.
Drink ticket, yeah.
And that way we can have an idea of the number of people, because I think his capacity inside is 125, but I don't know what his capacity into the patio is. So we would have to control it with a ticket that we sell. And so Anna, why don't you take it away with your.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. So that, I'm just making sure I'm following along. So it's not crab, it's appetizers and drinks. Okay.
It's a community event that would recognize police and fire from Knoll and Hercules with a program that typically was before the crab feed, where we had each chief, maybe dignitary, and then after that first 20 minutes of formalities, it morphs into a community celebration together with a live auction.
I'm calling it a celebrity date auction.
Celebrity date auction. And maybe we would have.
Pinole celebrity date
Maybe we
auction.
would have like a silent auction plus this celebrity auction. And now you can explain that.
So, yeah.
We didn't have a fundraiser last year. And the crab feed, how much have we generally made in the past year? 12,000?
12 to 15.
And how did that impact our budget then? Are we able to did we give less over the last 12 months then?
We had to be very committed to staying in our budget. We knew that it was going to be a budget year, that we were going to be in the negative, so basically we would dig into our surplus. And we funded the same $3,000 in scholarships. We stuck with our contributions to the Philippine Medical Mission, the Pinole players.
On my birthday, we donated money for this year.
That was our commitment for this year, the club, at Dr. Bill's 90th birthday party, the club presented a contribution to the Philippine Medical Mission.
So does the board have an idea how much money we need to raise in this fundraiser we're thinking about in order to maintain a historic budget thing.
I'm a photographer, not an accountant.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, like,
An
should we
idea.
have a goal of how
Yes.
much we want to? I don't know.
Our calendar year goes from July to June. That's our calendar year, but our budget year goes from January to December. So we probably need to have a goal once we get some idea of costs. But the success of that fundraiser being at the beginning of the year gives us the budget we have to work with based on the success of that fundraiser.
just making it easy, we're $12,000 light from last year.
From 2 years ago at this point,
However,
yeah.
there was no Camp Royal, because of COVID, so we didn't have to make a decision or have that expense. And that's about a $2,000 expense. And what else am I missing?
Those things like that,
We
or-
already talked about it.
I think that's it.
One thing that I pitched in our board meeting is that from a nonprofit administration standpoint, it makes more sense to have more smaller fundraisers throughout the fiscal year rather than one massive all or nothing fundraiser and pray that we make that money. So I think what we had talked about when we were planning this event is that, no, it's not the crab feed, so it probably won't make the same amount of money that a crab feed made. And because of that, maybe we do something else in the springtime or the summertime to offset it, rather than, this one thing that because we missed it, we were light and had a hard fiscal year. So that's my note on that budgetary concern.
Do you need some raffle baskets made?
Probably.
We're gonna need a committee to.
I have a raffle basket factory now.
That's beautiful.
What my daughter told me, and I'll be making raffle baskets for football fundraisers for San Ramon too. But I'm all in.
Debbie, thank you.
You're a queen, Debbie.
It's kind of.
So I don't know how far we got, so maybe,
This is why the board meeting went an hour and 45 minutes last time.
next week will be board meeting, maybe we can concise it down, maybe have a committee to start, whoever wants to start planning this, so we can get Debbie and other people involved. And then we'll know more today after we look at the space. Have a goal, and
I'm excited about that.
that'll be great. So we're almost out of time. Let's go ahead and do our raffles. You wanna take a ticket?
Sure. Why not?
All right, 719 for $3. $719.
No, it's whoever was right before me.
Oh, yay! All right, for our bottle of wine, we have a red and a white.
Ooh, that'll be mine, Debbie. Come on, Debbie. I'm thirsty.
755.
755.
Nothing.
Oh, I pulled my own.
Oh,
There you go.
How convenient.
Red or white? These
We
look
also
beautiful.
have a coffee card.
I'll take the coffee card. I don't do it. But I was gonna take it and then give it to one of you.
Aww.
Is it fair
That's
to
what
offer
Tom
service?
Severnich
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Is it the truth?
Is it true?
Of course
Is
it
it the
is.
truth? Of
All
course
right,
it
pick
is.
your marble.
That's the new four-way test.
Yep.
Yep.
692. One of the first ones here. 692.
Come on, go.
Oh, that's me.
You?
It's
Mr. President.
Yeah.
So first, it's in there,
Take
right?
one out of there since you're president. All right, it's in here.
The glare from the window is a
Come on, Tom. Make her work for it.
All right. Here we go. White.
Yellow.
I've never seen anyone pull it.
Love it.
I've never seen anyone.
All right, guys, so next week,
What about the money?
Oh, yeah, the dollars?
The sergeant at arms.
we can do that,
It's 134.
For rich tax.
I owe a fine. I'll pay my fine, Sergeant.
Sorry. Next week, board meeting, so everyone feel free to join us at Quinnan Street. We'll start to kind of make some ideas, concrete plans. All right.
Thank you. Maya's waving.
Hi, everybody. See ya.
Love you.
Love you.
Wait,
Bye.
she's here.
I'm waiting on the computer.
I know, everyone's.
Out.
Oh my God. I got.